All right, what's going on? Welcome to Celtics Postgame Live. Tom Giles, Scal. We're going to have Eddie joining us in just a little bit. Chris Forsberg coming up later in the program. But the Celtics fall in this one 113-98. Scal, you see that 9-game winning streak come to an end. 1-3 against the Orlando Magic. What is it about Orlando that they're able to win 3 straight against the Celtics?
Yeah, I think you can go back to the beginning of this game, and I think the Celtics just settled. Early in the game, instead of attacking, you saw Orlando attacking the paint. The Celtics were settling outside. Now, there was a time, I think the second quarter, they were like, all right, enough is enough. We're the best team in the NBA. You beat us twice in the Garden. We got to turn this thing around. But you give a team like the Orlando Magic, who in their mind, they believe they can make their bones on beating the Boston Celtics 3 out of 4 times. Like, you give them confidence, it's really hard to reel that back in. So I did not like the way that we started this game. I do like some parts of this game, but you really saw it when Tatum went to the bench. That's when Orlando went to a new level. So you had the first quarter where the Celtics were settling, Orlando was attacking, and then you had the time when Tatum hit the bench.
Yeah.
And sometimes you can overcome those, but tonight was not one of those nights.
Yeah, you saw him overcome that 14-point deficit in the first half, and then in the third quarter, Orlando won in that 20-5 run, and the Celtics never quite got back. You talked about you didn't like the way the Celtics started the game, and a big part of that was points in the paint for Orlando when they just absolutely dominated the Celtics, especially in the first quarter.
Yeah, and so how these occurred, Celtics settling for shots, like long shots, Orlando getting the ball, getting to the paint. Then you talk about turnovers, where the Celtics turn the ball over, Orlando's out in fast breaks, getting to the paint. Orlando dominated the fast breaks as well. A lot of those ended up in points in the paint. By the way, shout out Jonathan Isaac for doing this thing on a comeback. All NBA players root for other NBA players coming back. But the early on points in the paint, it was like you have to have some type of attack from there, and Orlando just got everything they wanted at the rim. You want to blame it on Rob Williams? You can if you want, but this team should be good enough to be able to stop the Orlando Magic from running all over them and getting 54 points in the paint.
Okay, you also, you talk about Rob Williams. He's out of this one. Malcolm Brogdon obviously didn't play. Marcus Smart did not play. And you lost, Jason Tatum for a few minutes there in the third quarter. Did come back. Let's bring in Eddie House now, who's down in Orlando. And Eddie, up close and personal, what'd you think of Orlando tonight and why the Celtics weren't able to hang with the Magic?
It was weird because it was like they would get a lead and we would cut the lead down. And we would be right there with them. And then all of a sudden, here they come again. Scal spoke on it. They had 54 points in the paint, but 24 of them came off of fast break points. When we didn't set our defense, they got everything they wanted. They ran down our throat. We weren't getting back defensively. And I think early on in that first half, we just came out kind of sleepwalking, and they came out full bore, full speed ahead coming right at us. And shout out to Jonathan Isaac for getting back. We love to see a guy who has struggled to get back, who's been gone for 2 years. Over 2 years and come out the way he played. And what about Jamal Mosley calling his play 3 straight times to get him a basket? So you can't say, I can tell you this Orlando Magic team, they play hard. And they're long, they're rangy, they're athletic, they're fast, and they're young. And for this Orlando fan base, they should be excited about this team just because it is an exciting brand of basketball to watch.
So we had this conversation last time when they beat us twice. They're more impressive. I agree with you. Like, you watch them on TV, it doesn't do them justice. They're more impressive when you see them live. Are you going to walk back some of those comments that you came at them early on? You have to admit, when you see them live,
listen,
they're better, right?
I'm not walking back none of my comments. They got some good pieces. I'm saying that they have good players. They got some good pieces. They're very young. But you still got 25 other teams that are better than you. I don't know what else we're supposed to do with that. That was a great game, but what else am I supposed to do with that?
No, I just think when I see them up close and personal, they struggle early. But you think about this team, I think they have defensive size. They're tough. They attack the basket. They don't have great shooting, but they make up for it in a lot of different ways. And to me, a lot of times it's a matchup game, and it feels like they do have the Celtics number a little bit, the way that they play, and especially if you have guys out.
Yeah. It almost felt like, too, you're watching this game unfold, and the Celtics put so much effort into that win over Golden State. The effort into coming back against Toronto. You come here against, Orlando, and you think, all right, we'll be okay. Even though you're without Rob, even though you're without Malcolm Brogdon, Marcus Smart, that you're going to be okay. you did get some contributions coming off the bench, Eddie. I know that's always a big thing for you, but, Sam Hauser was pretty much that one guy who stepped up and scored the ball there. What did you think about the role players tonight and their ability to try to get back in this game but come up short?
I think their bench outplayed our bench. That's what it came down to. Their role players play better than our role players tonight. They put the ball in the hole. And Scal, to talk about what you say when you see this Orlando Magic team play in person, the one thing about them is their speed jumps out at me. And it's not just speed by one or two guys. They have a lot of speed everywhere. They got speed and size. And they're athletic. They don't shoot the ball particularly well, which was confusing to me when I'm looking at Cole Anthony constantly turning the corner and we're still sagging on the defense and we're not going under, forcing him to take a contested jumper. Those are the things that where I'm looking at like, okay, maybe we could have stopped some of those points in the paint if we switched up our coverage at times. But I can't take anything away from this Orlando Magic team. And it's like sometimes you have matchups that just are favorable for other teams. And this year, this is one of them matchups.
Yeah, and Orlando taking 3 or 4 from the Celtics here in the regular season is, well, they're not going to see him in the postseason at least.
Good job, Eddie. You were a great listen to on the broadcast. Bring it tomorrow now.
Yeah, you got Eddie back with Grandy tomorrow against the Miami Heat. This one, though, you see the Celtics fall 113-98. They're 35-13 on the season.